The super hyped up Kirito vs Volo. Did it deliver? So what's up guys, Foxen here. Seems like that cliffhanger from the last SAO Alicization episode really got everyone hyped up for this matchup. Would Kirito go down versus number 1 Volo? Or would Kirito use his supposed god tier skills to win? And just reading the comments, it felt like a lot of you wanted Kirito to whoop his ass. After seeing the results, I actually expect there to be a lot of disappointment from the fight. So definitely do chime in. Especially since you got that early Goblin fight as a comparison. Funny, cause before the actual match, you really had Lina senpai building this Volo guy up. Something about their family liking to soak their blade in their victim's blood. The main course on today's dish would be Kirito. He was about to be carved up like a turkey. How fitting. And pretty interesting family history. I mean, Lina does point out Volo's experience with actual sword battles. Although I should mention, Underworld matches are stopped at the first drop of blood. You're not getting much strawberry jam out from here. And by the way, I really do appreciate Lina giving her full support to Kirito. She must have been like, you better not make me look bad, Kirito. Anyway, getting into the actual main course. Kirito versus Volo. And I'm still just loving the night sky blade shot. Unfortunately, spoiling the moment was a colorful commentary from the spoiled rich kids. Just shut it. As for Volo getting into position, my god did this guy look freaking intense. He was so powerful that you could literally see his Ryatsu. His power level must be over 9,000. Shut up and do me, Yugi. Oops, wrong series. Then over on Kirito's side, loving this guy sticking to his roots. Let's just go ahead and beat this guy's ass with the trusty vertical square SAO skill. But what is this? Oh, both of these two were struggling with all of their might here. You could really feel it. I mean, both of their faces just looked intense. By the way, I do wonder whether this match just looked dull to the audience, since it really was a power versus power stalemate for a good second there, which boiled down to them pretty much standing still. Anyway, as for Kirito's driving motivation, this was definitely an episode highlight for him. Yeah, I know, it's a little cheesy, but I'm gonna take an extra serving on my plate. The best part of all was Asuna being at the very top of Kirito's mind. So what's that? Did Asuna just help Kirito's sword grow bigger? Oh, that's right, Kirito just went into Night Sky Shikai form. This episode did in fact reveal one of the Night Sky sword's special abilities. When Kirito is losing, the blade actually gets super big to kick some tail. And I'm sure there's gonna be some trolls complaining about this random power-up. But really, Kirito is literally wielding the power of the Giga's tree, just in a more compact size. Seeing that oversized Christmas tree behind Kirito was a very nice visual. Anyway, let's get into the little ending here. Let me actually explain what happened. One of the things that constantly gets mentioned in the novels is the disadvantage of using sword skills. One being just how predictable someone moves when using them. And the second disadvantage you saw here, which is this huge delay once the sword skill is done. Kirito basically caught Volo with his pants down. Since Kirito was using the 4-hit SAO skill, he still had 1 hit to go, which gave him the opening to penetrate Volo's defenses. Poor Volo, this guy should really just go shirtless. I'm sure the girls would love that, and some guys too. Oh, and by the way, interesting how these two just immediately happened to stop. Really good thing they weren't in the middle of using any sword skills. That could have turned out terrible. And I actually have to give props to the Volo guy here at the end. He was still doing the whole noble dance, but still, in his own way, he was showing respect to Kirito. And do notice Kirito's Night Sky blade turning into regular size. That was after the exciting match. Gotta really go start Bankai training now. And by the way, for the actual results, I do have to mention I'm calling BS. A draw? Sure buddy. I don't care if Kirito's technique technically didn't squeeze out his juices. That was a first strike. Next up, let's talk about the after party in Lina's place. Finally getting some drinking up in here. And the lightweights, poor Eugeo and its own senpai. I bet you those two only had like 1 glass of wine. And overall, I just loved this wine scene after party. It was really a short mention in the novel. That's why I was super glad to see it fleshed out in the anime. Even more so with the previous drunk Kirito scene cut out. The only thing they forgot to mention was Kirito really letting himself go after Lina took out this 100-year aged fine wine from her secret stash. I mean, who could resist? I definitely wouldn't be able to. Wine is my drink of choice. But more importantly, this really demonstrated how close Kirito and Lina were as mentor and apprentice. Don't forget, this included some juicy historical info about their family's sword styles. Unfortunately, the fun got ruined by these two bastards crashing the party. I really like how this older looking gentleman here really doesn't at all try to hide his hate for Kirito. Such a commoner, gotta hate. And then the blonde noble perhaps is even more slimy in that regard. He tries to be more subtle about it and play it out. Not that he's good at hiding it. These two are pretty much a noble and his attack dog at hand. And really, too bad for Kirito, a fun night after his victory quickly turned sour. He really should have taken his night sky sword and stuck it up their asses. I'll show you the reason this thing is really black. I'm really glad it wasn't me in that situation. I would have tried to beat someone's ass. And yeah, I would have likely gotten my own ass kicked. Next up, as for Kirito's special Zephylia flowers, I was really wondering whether they would go into the full details of why Kirito became a vegetarian. Of course, he was raising these flowers as a gift, but I'm really glad to see how they tied this to Kirito missing his loved ones. And just wow, I really have to give more props to that breaking glass sound here. I mean, yes, it has been around quite a while, and it still perfectly captures the sense of loss so clearly. Poor Kirito. I really only wish they allowed Kirito to cry for a few seconds longer. Just let it sink in. As for the mysterious woman's voice, let me not go into any spoilers, but this voice does belong to the person that's been watching over Kirito and Eugeo. This certain being first got introduced in the Zakaria chapter that got skipped over, so it's looking like she didn't entirely get cut out. Now for the Disneyland magic part of this episode, and I definitely want to hear your reaction to this. I could really imagine some horrible hater complaints, but we'll see. For me, personally, I was really curious to see how they would do this flower rebirth scene. The way I at first imagined this while reading this looked really silly in my mind, or at least it had the potential to come across looking super goofy and strange. After seeing the episode, I am super pleasantly surprised. This is actually an excellent example of a scene that done so much better with visuals in the anime version. It almost had me tearing up a bit. Almost. Next up, Lina Senpai vs Volo, like round 10. Another surprise once again, it followed up with another more fleshed out scene. Lina fighting and then winning over Volo was only a quick sentence mentioned for the novel. For the anime now, not only is this more fleshed out, you even got an extra on-screen fight out of it. They are definitely not cheaping out on the animation. The cherry on top is that you actually got to see Lina using the SAO skill she learned from Kirito to win it. I can't believe Lina shattered the dude's weapon. She definitely must have learned that from Kirito. As for their mentor's graduation, another top scene right here. Again, this was only like a sentence in the novel. You now have the nice addition of Eugeo giving his own wine treat gift. Then it's completed with Kirito giving his own present gift. By the way, right here, let me actually mention what got cut out. 2 weeks after her graduation, Lina actually entered the Empire Swordsman tournament. This is a famous tournament that if you win, you'll be promoted into being an Integrity Knight. Unfortunately, after an intense battle, Lina lost. So I guess they wanted to close Lina's chapter on a good note. Next up, the top students Eugeo and Kirito now with their own interns. You got the redhead Tise and the more Japanese looking girl Roni. Oh, I can't wait for haters to complain about 2 new girls coming into the harem. But pay no attention, these girls are super sweet, like vanilla ice cream. You'll get to know them more. By the way, one little detail about Eugeo and Kirito's new wardrobe. Just like their previous mentors, they are able to customize their uniform to their liking. Naturally, the guy that lacks any fashion sense picked black, and to be honest, I would be the same. Then you got the icy blue for Eugeo. And I am still loving the casual as always Kirito. I mean, coming into the room from the fricking window, then immediately going into lunch mode. The nice touch here was Kirito offering the goods with his mouth full. Tisa and Roni really reminded me of a bunch of cute Japanese girls, just getting super excited over some sweets. From this episode, you've gotten 2 servings of the incarnation or image system. One time from Kirito's matchup, and the second from the flowers regrowing. If you're anime only, I definitely want to hear from you. Is the anime doing a good enough job getting this across? So just go ahead and pause the video and let me know. My first thought says no as a novel reader, but maybe I'm wrong. Go ahead and post below if you think the anime is doing a good job. As for the best scenes and animation this episode, I couldn't pick just one. This is a freaking amazing episode when it comes to adapting the light novel. Pretty much nothing got skipped, and you even got more meat added to the bony parts. That goes from the wine scene, to Lina vs Volo, and even Kirito and Eugeo's graduation gifts. And about the Zakaria chapter that got skipped, the SAO author Reki even tweeted about this. According to him, that was the biggest chunk from Alicization that was gonna get cut. But we'll see what happens. Let's actually get into things cut out from this episode. Here's 3 highlights. Before the actual match, when Kirito was looking at Volo and his 2-handed sword, Kirito got reminded of the laughing coffin bastard. Kirito's funny ass even considered trying to break Volo's sword, although he quickly gave up on the idea. He thought that perhaps he would break his own weapon instead. Next up, let me bring up the 2 nobles destroying Kirito's flowers. Kirito in the novel was really wondering how this was possible. Destroying other people's goods was against the Taboo Index. Even high-ranking nobles shouldn't be able to break absolute rules. Unfortunately for Kirito, the flowers technically weren't classified as his possession. They had no owner. These nobles really thought anything was fair game, as long as they were not restricted by the law. Then you got the third skip scene. So after the flower massacre, Kirito actually saw an integrity knight flying overhead. He then recalled how it took a year just to get into the central city. This really just brought back thoughts of his own personal goal. Kirito was really hoping there was a potential doorway linking to the outside world within the Axiom church. By the way, here's some bonus info. The first Blu-ray for SAO Alicization is coming out in January. The bonus stuff has been announced. It's going to be including a short story with Eugeo and Kirito's adventure after they left the Ruled village. This was before they got to Zakaria. That's going to be fun. And then the second bonus. The cover for the final SAO arc just got released. Definitely check out my non-spoiler video where I give my thoughts on it. But anyway, more important, let me hear from you this episode. How much did you enjoy Kirito vs. Volo? Disappointed or did you love it? Was it too overhyped? And what are your thoughts on the Disney flower scene? Did anything else stand out from this episode? Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, smash that thumbs up and subscribe. If you're new to the channel, you can enjoy juicy SAO videos every week. Definitely check out my Season 3 opening breakdown if you haven't. And what was this about SAO ending soon? Go ahead and find out the details. So hit the notifications, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.